Hello, my name is Sally Pinto, and I'm the Program Director for the Yonkers NORC, Neighborhood Naturally Occurring Retirement Community. We serve seniors 60 plus in Northeast Yonkers. We are under the auspices of WJCS and the Yonkers Office for the Aging. We also have a resource specialist and a nurse on staff. We conduct virtual programming in partnership with the Yonkers Public Library on a daily basis. Enjoy the program.
So as always, everyone, just any props that you might want. So it can be pillows, towels, blankets, anything that you might want to kind of fill the space as we come into our practice today. So let's begin on our backs. So you can come to lay down. And as always, whenever we come into our first position, you can kind of wiggle and move around as much or as little as you need just to adjust to this new perspective, to just start to begin to check in with your body and kind of see what's going on. Just noticing how this is different than what you've been doing all day. Noticing any places that might feel a little tight or tender on this Monday. And eventually, there's no rush to get there. You'll start to find a place to just pause. And you can do anything you want with the legs here, anything you want with the arms. Just finding a place to settle in to start today. You can begin to close your eyes or just soften through your gaze. So maybe not only just checking in with your external body, but what's going on with your breath. And just starting to observe your mind a little bit. If you're able to settle in quickly today, or if you have a ton of thoughts and to-do lists running through your head. Maybe it's somewhere in the middle. And if you notice thoughts come up, I always invite you to allow the thought to complete. Like, don't try to just shut it off abruptly. Let it complete. And then try to see if you can quiet the mind just a little bit more, but things are totally going to come up. It takes a lot of practice and effort to actually release the effort. And oftentimes just that action of trying to shut it off really abruptly can often be more stressful than just letting the thought finish, because now your brain is trying to remember what you were doing. You can kind of think about it where if you go into a room to get something, and you walk into the room and get distracted by something and you forgot why you went there, you kind of go back to the beginning. Maybe go back to where you came from and see if you can bring it to remember what you went for. It's kind of the same in these thoughts that are coming up. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Again, any position that you're in is perfect. Last breath here, just settling in. And you can keep your legs wherever they are at, or you can change position with the legs. And it doesn't matter to me where you put them. So if you want to change position, maybe if the knees were bent, you lengthen the legs out long, or if they were long, you can plant them on the floor. So just kind of let the lower half of your body find a place to pause and soften and just let go wherever it's at. And bring your arms out into a T if they're not already in that position, with the palms up to the sky. And keeping your left arm in a T, just start to make your right arm more of a Y. So the arm should still be able to rest on the ground. You can bend the elbow at any point, but just making more of like this Y shape. You can always bring a pillow underneath the hand. So if the hand is floating in the air, just go ahead and slide a pillow underneath there so it can relax. And start to bring your gaze over the left shoulder. So turning your head to the left. You can keep your arm in that Y, or let the arm slide up overhead a little bit more. And again, you don't have to go abruptly there. You can move just a little bit, nice and slow. And you'll find your sweet spot. Your gaze can still be over your left shoulder. Connect back to your breath. Keeping your upper body exactly where it's at, keeping your arms and head where you're at. And just start to place your feet on the floor if they aren't already. And just begin to invite a little bit of a rock of the knees from side to side. It can be nice and slow. If at any point as you're holding that arm up overhead, you start to feel any pinching sensation in the shoulder, that's not a position that you want to stay in. That's past your sweet spot. So just take it back a little bit. All right, so let the knees pause back in the middle and just let your left leg slide along. And then let your head come back to the center. And bring your left hand on your belly. So we're kind of closing off that left arm and that right leg while we're extending our left leg and our right arm. So you've got opposite arm and opposite leg working together. It's okay if your body feels like it wants to tilt or shift a little bit one way or another. You can add support, fill in this space anywhere you need. And connecting back to the breath. After your next full breath, deep inhale and deep exhale. Let your right arm slowly drag back down into that T. And then allow the right hand to rest on your belly. You'll keep the left leg out long though. We're just moving one limb at a time. You might feel the belly rise and fall a little bit with your hands resting there. Couple more rounds of breath. After your next full breath, allow your left foot to find the floor. You can move around a little bit, kind of just observing the differences from side to side. Keeping your feet where they're at. Let's start to bring those arms out into a T once again. This round, we'll move the left arm. So start to turn the left arm into more of a Y shape. And now your sides are totally different. So moving one little piece at a time. You can start to bring your gaze over the right shoulder. You can keep your left arm where it's at or start to bring it more up overhead. Remember, you can always place something underneath the hand. If at any point you feel any pinching, that is definitely more of a pain response. And I want you to kind of back out of it just a little bit. Your legs are still just kind of hanging out where they land. And slowly start to lengthen your right leg out. It should feel really good, especially since it's been bent for quite a while now. Turn your head back towards the middle. If your gaze was over to the right, your left arm is still hanging out up overhead. Softening on the floor. And then allow the right hand to find your belly. A few more rounds of breath here. Last breath. You'll start to place your right foot on the floor. Drag your left arm down and allow the hand to rest on your belly. And any movement here. I'm actually going to have you take that movement all the way over to one side. So you'll land in that fetal position. Just letting all of the weight come off of your spine and almost feeling like the knees are really trying to kind of hug in towards the belly. So you can take a little bit of the pressure out of the low back. So we're gonna stay on our side. So it doesn't matter which side you're on. You can use your arm as a pillow. You can use a pillow as a pillow. And you're gonna keep the leg that's directly on the floor where it is. But you'll take the top leg and straighten the knee. So wherever the leg kind of straightens first is perfect. So mine's kind of a little forward, and you might play with where that bottom knee is so that you don't feel like you're rolling too far to one side. And just kind of take a few moments to settle into the sensation of having the bottom leg bent and the top leg straight. Now you can always have a pillow underneath between the knees as well. Just always checking in on what's going on in your low back. So now that you've kind of settled into this a little bit, take a peek at where your foot is. So mine's like really far in front of me. You can't tell so much if you're looking at me. So I'm trying to move the leg back. I want it to still rest on the floor, but now I want my hips more stacked and my foot in line with my hip, like I'm standing up, except I'm just laying on the ground. So it's gonna be more of a stretch on this outside of the hip and the outside of the leg, because the foot actually has farther to fall to the floor. Now, if you go all the way into line and you've passed your sweet spot, you've passed your Goldilocks spot here, then you can kind of play with going a little bit back forward. But really checking in with that sensation. And you can always use your bottom foot as a support too, to kind of let the foot have something more to rest on. And you might have to use your hands to hold you up a little bit deeper. We're not here for too long. You might feel as if you're holding on a lot to stay here, to keep yourself here. But see if you can soften even just 1% more, even just a little bit more. Let's find 2 more breaths here. And after that second breath, you can bend that top leg again, come back to that fetal position. And roll back onto your back. So remember which way you rolled the first time. So you got to do the other side. Take a moment on your back though. You can observe what's going on, what's happening in your body and your breath. And when you're ready, you'll roll onto the other side in that fetal position. You're looking at me. I'm just moving the other way because you will not be able to hear me anymore. My voice is away from the camera. So you're just coming into the fetal position on the other side. You can use your arm as a pillow or a pillow as a pillow. You might notice just going on the other side might already feel a little different. That's totally normal. One side might feel more comfortable. Just one more breath here. So then just like we did on the other side, you're going to keep the leg that's closest to the floor on the floor. And then extend the top leg. So just straighten out the knee. So when we first get here, we'll just kind of hang out. Wherever it lands is perfect. You might already feel a bit of a stretch. And you might have already found your Goldilocks spot. And then begin to check out where your foot is and see if you can bring that leg more in line with your hip. So again, the sides probably feel different. One side might resist it a little bit more than the other. Reconnect with your breath. Just a few more here. Last breath. You can start to bend your top leg. Come back to that fetal position. And instead of rolling onto our backs this time, you're gonna roll onto your belly. You can make a pillow with the hands. You can bend the legs and windshield wiper the legs a little bit from side to side. You just kind of allow your body to adjust for a few moments into this new perspective. And then start to bend your right leg and pull the knee over to the right side. So it's on the inside. The inside of the leg is on the ground. So when we were on our side, we were focusing on the outside of the leg, the outside of the hips. And this one, we're focusing a little bit more on the inside. You can stay wherever you want with the arms and the head. If you want to play a little bit more with the arms, you can bring your arms out into a T. And then cactus the arms. So the palm can be towards the floor. And straighten your right arm. So again, you're in that opposite. The straight leg and the straight arm are different sides, and the bent are different sides. Last couple of breaths here. And start to straighten your leg. Rebend your arm. And then bend your left leg. So we're just moving to the other side. You can pause and cactus arms for the first few rounds of breath here, or you can find something different with the arms. And then if you want to add that opposite, you'll have cactus arms to start. And then straighten your left arm. Last couple of breaths here. Kelly. And then begin to straighten the leg. Make a pillow with your hands again. And just begin to bend your right leg. So kicking the heel towards your booty. And you might reach around to find the top of the foot, or you might just kind of let it hang. And feel as if you're trying to lengthen the front of your leg. So like the part of the leg that's on the floor. We're not going to stay here for too long. Just continuing to now get the front of the leg. Just like one more breath. And then gently release. And begin to bend your left leg. So again, the foot can kind of just hang out. Or you might reach for the top of the foot with the hand. Their sides will likely feel different and need different things. Last couple of breaths here. After your next full breath, gently release the leg. You can bend the knees and windshield wiper them a little bit again if that felt good, if that feels good. And then this will be the hardest part. You'll start to press yourself up into a tabletop position. Doesn't matter if you crawl there, you press. And then when you get into that tabletop position, feel free to move around as much or as little as you need. So you can move through some cat-cows and just kind of move the spine nice and slow and intentionally in all different directions. And begin to find a child's pose. So once you feel ready after that tabletop position, you can sit back on a blanket or a pillow or nothing and come into a child's pose. Check in with your body here. We've done a lot in the hip area, on the sides and the front. But now we're getting to the low back to round out. So it's normal if this feels a lot different than the rest of class. A few more rounds of breath here. Just really allowing your body to release into this position. Take one more full breath here. Deep inhale in. And then let it all out. And you'll begin to find your way onto your backs. Setting yourself up for your final Shavasana. So I always offer that you can throw your legs up against the wall or on a couch or a chair. Or you can come back to that fetal position is also an option. I'm just trying to find a place where you can let go a little bit, where you can allow your body to kind of take in the benefits of your practice today. Adding whatever extra props or blankets or pillows that you'd like. And letting your body completely release in gratitude for your practice today. Shavasana. Just starting to bring some awareness back into the space. Starting to bring some awareness back into the body. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Rolling out wrists and ankles. And rocking your head from side to side. Rolling onto your side. Pausing there for a beat. Using the strength of your arms when you're ready to press yourself up. Coming into a comfortable seat and keeping the focus inside. Bringing your hands into your heart center, gently bow your head. Thank yourself for making it to your mat today, for your practice, for your energy, for your breath, and most importantly, for yourself. Namaste.
Hi, everyone. This is Z from Yonkers Public Library. Thanks so much to Sally Pinto and Alexis and Barbara from Newark. Thank you to our community partners, WJCS, the City of Yonkers Office for the Aging, Westchester County Legislator Ruth Walter, Friends of Crestwood Library, and Yonkers Public Library for making this phenomenal partnership. And we thank each and every one of you for being part of our wellness community. Be well, stay well.